Are you pouring yourself a glass of milk every single morning because you have always believed it is doing wonders for your bones, supporting healthy aging, and contributing to your overall wellness? But here is the critical question. If you are over the age of 50 and your doctor has ever mentioned elevated creatinine levels, signs of weakening kidneys, swelling in your feet, getting up multiple times during the night to urinate, persistent fatigue, or blood pressure that simply refuses to stay within a healthy range, then that seemingly innocent glass of milk might be something you need to examine much more closely starting today. The core issue is not merely the act of drinking milk. The real question is whether the specific type of milk you are choosing is genuinely appropriate for your kidneys. Regular cow's milk can contain significant amounts of phosphorus, potassium, and animal-based protein. For a younger, healthy individual, that may not pose a major concern, but for an older adult, when the kidney's filtering capacity has already begun its natural decline, each glass of milk can quietly add more strain to those overworked organs day in and day out. And here is the frightening part. You may not feel any immediate effects. There is typically no pain, no clear warning signal, nothing overtly obvious. Then one ordinary day, a routine blood test reveals that your creatinine levels have risen. Your doctor starts advising you to reduce your intake of certain foods, and suddenly you find yourself wondering, could something I consume every single day be making my kidneys work harder than they need to? The encouraging news is that you do not necessarily have to eliminate milk from your diet completely. You simply need to select the right kind. In this video, I am going to show you the top 3 kidney-friendly milk options that older adults may want to consider incorporating into their daily routine. These choices may help reduce the everyday burden on your kidneys and may support better creatinine management when combined with a balanced diet and proper medical supervision. Before we dive into the list, I want to make one point absolutely clear. No milk is a cure for kidney disease, and no single glass of milk can lower your creatinine levels overnight, but for older adults, sometimes one small adjustment in a daily habit can help relieve a tremendous amount of pressure from the kidneys over an extended period. As many older Americans wisely say, it is always better to be safe than sorry. So, if you are dealing with kidney concerns, if you are monitoring your creatinine, potassium, phosphorus, or if your doctor has instructed you to pay closer attention to your dietary choices, then selecting the right milk is no longer a trivial detail. A glass of milk every morning may seem harmless on the surface, but if you choose the wrong variety, it can be akin to asking an old, worn-out filter to work an extra shift every single day without rest. Now let us begin with the first option on our list. Number 3, unsweetened cashew milk. When people hear the term cashew milk, many of them pause for a moment. Cashews? Can someone with compromised kidneys really drink milk made from nuts? That is a completely valid question. But what matters most is not merely where the milk originates. What truly matters is what is actually inside that glass. How much phosphorus does it contain? How much potassium? How much sodium? How much protein? For anyone with kidney concerns, these are the numbers that truly count. Regular cow's milk can contain a fairly high amount of phosphorus. Phosphorus is a mineral that a healthy kidney can usually manage without difficulty. But when the kidneys are weakened, excess phosphorus can accumulate in the bloodstream. This can disrupt the body's delicate mineral balance. It can affect your bones, your blood vessels, and it can force your kidneys to work much harder than they should have to. Unsweetened cashew milk, on the other hand, is generally much lower in phosphorus than cow's milk. And because it comes from a plant source, the natural phosphorus it contains is often less readily absorbed by the body than the phosphorus found in animal-based dairy products or industrial additives. Think of it this way. If cow's milk is like a heavy, cumbersome bag that your kidneys have to carry up a long flight of stairs, unsweetened cashew milk is more like a much lighter, more manageable bag. The kidneys still have work to do, but the pressure on them may be significantly reduced. The next factor to consider is potassium. For individuals living with chronic kidney disease, potassium is not something to be taken lightly. When the kidneys cannot filter efficiently, potassium can build up to dangerous levels in the blood. And when potassium levels get too high, it does not just make a person feel tired or weak, it can also have a direct impact on the heartbeat. A glass of cow's milk can contain a substantially higher amount of potassium. Unsweetened cashew milk is typically lower in potassium, which may make it easier to manage for many people who are following a kidney-conscious diet. Then there is sodium. High sodium intake causes the body to retain excess fluid. That extra fluid can lead to swollen feet, elevated blood pressure, a feeling of heaviness throughout the body, and general discomfort. And high blood pressure is one of the primary factors that can accelerate the decline of kidney function. That is why people with kidney concerns are frequently advised to cut back on salt. But it is not just the salt you add to your food at the table. You also need to pay attention to what is in your drinks, packaged goods, canned items, and processed foods. Unsweetened cashew milk, if you select the right brand, is often fairly low in sodium. That may make it a gentler, more suitable option for many older adults. There is one more aspect worth highlighting: the type of fat found in cashew milk. Cashew milk may contain monounsaturated fats, similar to the healthy fats found in olive oil. This may be better for heart health than consuming too much saturated fat from whole cow's milk. And for someone with weakened kidneys, the heart and kidneys are like two old friends sharing the same house. When one struggles, the other inevitably feels the impact as well. Healthier blood vessels, steadier blood pressure, and improved circulation can all support kidney function in the long run. Unsweetened cashew milk is also usually low in protein. For some individuals with kidney disease who are not yet on dialysis and who have been advised by their doctor to moderate their protein intake, this can be a helpful feature. When the body breaks down protein, it produces waste products that the kidneys must filter out. So when you choose a lower protein milk, you are not using up a portion of your daily protein allowance on something that may not be the most beneficial source of protein for you. But this is the most critical part. Not every carton of cashew milk is good for the kidneys. Many manufacturers add extra nutrients to make the nutrition label look more impressive. They may add calcium phosphate, tricalcium phosphate, dipotassium phosphate, or other ingredients that contain the word phosphate. For a healthy person, added calcium might sound like a positive addition, but for someone with compromised kidneys, phosphate additives can be a real problem because the body may absorb them very efficiently. And when that happens, a milk that appears kidney friendly on the front of the carton may not be kidney friendly at all. So before you buy it, do one simple but crucial thing. Turn the carton around and read the ingredient list carefully. Do not just look at the front label. The front always looks appealing, healthy, plant-based, calcium-rich, sugar-free. It all sounds very attractive, but the truth is usually found on the back in the ingredient list. Look for unsweetened cashew milk with no added phosphates. The simpler the ingredient list, the better. And even if you choose the right kind, do not overdo it. For older adults, especially those with kidney concerns, even healthy foods need to be consumed in moderation. 1 cup a day may be reasonable for many people, but if your lab results are abnormal, it is always best to consult your doctor or a renal dietitian first. And if you think cashew milk is already gentle on the kidneys, the next option may surprise you even more. Number 2, unsweetened rice milk. Rice milk is one that many people do not immediately consider. When people talk about replacing cow's milk, they usually think of oat milk, almond milk, or soy milk first. But for someone who is concerned about kidney health, unsweetened rice milk is a very important option to consider. The reason is straightforward. Rice milk is often very light when it comes to mineral content. People with weakened kidneys need to pay close attention to 3 key things: phosphorus, potassium, and sodium. You can think of them as the 3 numbers to watch. When the kidneys are healthy, they act like a diligent gatekeeper. They filter and balance what is circulating in the blood. But as we age and kidney function declines, that gatekeeper may not be as quick or as strong as it once was. If you keep introducing too many minerals that are difficult to process, the kidneys are forced to work much harder. Unsweetened rice milk is often lower in phosphorus than cow's milk, and the natural phosphorus from plant sources is usually not absorbed as strongly as phosphorus from dairy products or from food additives. This matters a great deal. When phosphorus accumulates in the blood, the body may start pulling calcium from the bones to restore balance. Over time, that can weaken the bones and may also affect the blood vessels. For older adults, that is something nobody wants. A person who is 65 or 70 is not only worried about their kidneys, they are also concerned about the risk of falling. They are worried about fragile bones. They are worried about their heart. They are worried about blood pressure. Everything in the body is interconnected. So reducing the phosphorus burden can be a small step with significant meaning. When it comes to potassium, rice milk is also often much lower than cow's milk. You can visualize it like this. If each glass of cow's milk represents a large bill your kidneys have to pay, rice milk is more like a much smaller bill. It is not nothing, but it may be easier to handle. For someone at risk of high potassium, this is worth paying attention to because potassium is not something you always feel right away. Some people only discover elevated levels through a blood test, and if potassium rises too high, it can affect the heart rhythm. That is why doctors often talk carefully about bananas, oranges, potatoes, tomatoes, coconut water, and daily beverages when guiding people with kidney concerns. Sodium in unsweetened rice milk is also usually low if you choose the right product. This may support better blood pressure control and help reduce fluid retention. For someone who frequently experiences swollen feet, heavy legs, a puffy face in the morning, or sock marks around the ankles by the evening, reducing sodium in small daily choices can make a meaningful difference over time. Another point to consider is protein. Rice milk is generally very low in protein. This may be helpful for some individuals with kidney disease who are not yet on dialysis and who need to manage their protein intake under medical supervision. When protein is broken down in the body, it creates waste products such as urea. The kidneys are responsible for filtering that waste. Put simply, weakened kidneys are like an old coffee filter that has been used for many years. If you keep pouring too many coffee grounds through it, it may still function, but it will work more slowly. It will strain more. It may clog more easily. Choosing a lower protein drink may help reduce some of that extra waste the kidneys need to handle. However, rice milk also comes with something to watch out for. Many rice milk products sold in stores contain added sugar, flavorings, or added minerals. If you choose one with added sugar, it may not be good for blood sugar control, especially for someone with diabetes. And diabetes is one of the leading causes of declining kidney function. So, the rule is simple. Choose unsweetened rice milk. Choose one with no added phosphates. Avoid products that are heavily fortified with extra minerals. Again, read the label carefully. If you see words like phosphate, calcium phosphate, tricalcium phosphate, or dipotassium phosphate, consider putting it back on the shelf. Do not let the front of the carton deceive you. Older Americans have a saying, read the fine print. That means pay attention to the small words. When it comes to kidney health, those small words may be the most important part of the entire label. And if you are still watching right now, I would like you to comment the number 2 below. You do not have to write anything lengthy, just the number 2. That tells me you are still engaged. And it also helps this video reach more older adults who are worried about their kidneys but may not know where to begin. Now let us move to the final option, and this may be the most interesting choice on the list today. Number 1, unsweetened flax milk. Cashew milk and rice milk are helpful because they may reduce the burden on the kidneys. They are often lower in phosphorus, potassium, sodium, and protein. But flax milk has something a little different to offer. It is not only light on the kidneys, it may also support the body in another important way. It may help support inflammation control and blood vessel health. For older adults, especially those with chronic kidney disease, silent inflammation is a real and persistent concern. The kidneys do not always decline because of one major event. Sometimes they weaken slowly over time, like a wall that has been absorbing moisture for years a little bit each day. No one notices it at first. Then one day, the cracks begin to appear. Flax milk contains alpha linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid. So omega-3 fatty acids are frequently mentioned when people talk about heart health, inflammation, and overall wellness. For someone with weakened kidneys, supporting lower inflammation throughout the body may be a real advantage. Of course, this does not mean flax milk cures kidney disease. It does not. But when it is part of an overall lifestyle that includes eating less salt, managing blood sugar, keeping blood pressure under control, taking medication as prescribed, keeping medical appointments, and choosing the right foods, it may be a valuable addition. When it comes to phosphorus, unsweetened flax milk is often very low, as long as it is not fortified with phosphate additives. This is extremely important for someone who needs to control phosphorus levels in the blood. When it comes to potassium, flax milk is also often much lower than cow's milk. Some products may be extremely low in potassium depending on the brand. That can give people who need to limit their potassium intake another easier choice in their daily routine. When it comes to sodium, unsweetened flax milk is also usually quite low if you choose a simple product, making it more aligned with the goal of reducing blood pressure strain and fluid retention. And here is something many people may appreciate. Flax milk is often nearly cholesterol free, low in calories, and very low in protein. For someone who is in the stage before dialysis and has been advised to reduce their protein intake, this can be helpful. But I need to say something very important. If you are already on dialysis, your protein needs may be different. People on dialysis often require more protein to compensate for what is lost during the treatment process. So do not cut back on protein or change your diet simply because you heard in a video that low protein is better for the kidneys. For people on dialysis, everything should be guided by a doctor or a renal dietitian. For people who are not yet on dialysis, who are monitoring their creatinine levels, or who have early to moderate kidney disease, choosing drinks that are lower in phosphorus, potassium, and sodium may be a wise and prudent step. But just like the first two milks, flax milk has one major trap: phosphate additives. Many companies add tricalcium phosphate to increase the calcium content and make the nutrition label look more appealing. A shopper sees calcium rich and thinks it must be good for their bones, but for weakened kidneys, this may be something to avoid. So remember this simple rule: no sugar, no phosphate. The shorter the ingredient list, the better. If you pick up a carton and the ingredient list looks as long as a grocery receipt with too many unfamiliar words you cannot pronounce, it may be better to put it down and look for another option. Kidney health does not require flashy or complicated choices. It needs simple, steady, and appropriate choices. So now we have 3 milks that older adults with kidney concerns may want to consider. Number 3, unsweetened cashew milk. It may be gentler than cow's milk. It is often lower in phosphorus and potassium, and if you choose the right one, it may provide fats that are better for heart health. Number 2, unsweetened rice milk. It is simple, easy to drink, and often very light in minerals. It may be helpful for people who need to reduce the burden of phosphorus, potassium, and sodium. Number 1, unsweetened flax milk. It is not only light on the kidneys, it also contains alpha linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that may support inflammation control and blood vessel health. But the most important thing these 3 choices have in common is this: you must choose the right kind. Do not choose the kind with added sugar. Do not choose the kind with added phosphate. Do not choose it just because the front of the carton says healthy. Turn it around. Read the back. Look at the ingredients. Choose the simplest option you can find, because sometimes what helps the kidneys feel less burdened is not a massive life change. It is not an extreme diet. It may be something as simple as replacing the milk you drink every morning with a more suitable choice. 1 glass each morning, one small decision repeated over weeks and months. For a young person, that may not seem like much. But for someone over 50, when the kidneys are no longer as strong as they used to be, small choices like this can truly matter. And remember this: if your creatinine is rising, if your doctor has ever told you that you may have signs of weakening kidneys, or if you are watching your potassium, phosphorus, blood pressure, or blood sugar, Do not ignore what you drink every single day. You do not need to panic. You just need to start paying closer attention. As the old saying goes, prevention is always easier than treatment. If this part was helpful, please save this list of 3 milks. And the next time you go to the grocery store, try one simple thing. Pick up the carton, turn it around, read the ingredient list before you put it in your cart. Now you know 3 milks that older adults with kidney concerns may want to consider more carefully. Unsweetened cashew milk may be gentler on the kidneys, lower in potassium, and may offer fats that are better for heart health if you choose the right kind. Unsweetened rice milk is simple, easy to drink, and often lighter in phosphorus, potassium, and sodium. And unsweetened flax milk is not only light on the kidneys, it also contains plant-based omega-3 fatty acids that may support inflammation control and blood vessel health. But what I want you to remember most is not just the names of these 3 milks. The most important thing is this: do not keep drinking out of habit without checking in with your body. When we are younger, we can often be more relaxed with our food choices. A glass of this, a salty meal here and there, a high protein meal once in a while, the body may still handle it. But after 50, especially when creatinine starts to rise, blood pressure becomes harder to control, feet start swelling, nighttime urination becomes more frequent, or the doctor says the kidneys need to be monitored. Every small choice begins to carry more weight. A glass of milk every morning may sound very ordinary, but if you repeat it every day, month after month, year after year, it is no longer a small thing. Older Americans often say this: small hinges swing big doors. With kidney health, that is also true. You do not need to change your whole life overnight. You just need to begin with small things. Choose the right milk. Eat a little less salt. Read labels more carefully. Drink fluids according to your doctor's guidance. And do not force yourself to drink too much. And do not skip your regular lab tests. Before you leave this video, I want to give you a simple eating plan for the next 7 days. Nothing complicated, nothing extreme, just a few gentle steps to help you begin taking better care of your kidneys. Tomorrow morning, instead of automatically pouring a glass of cow's milk like you usually do, try doing something different. Pick up the carton and read the back. If you see words like phosphate, calcium phosphate, tricalcium phosphate, or dipotassium phosphate, consider choosing something else. Over the next 7 days, if your doctor has not given you specific restrictions, you may try choosing one of the 3 unsweetened milks we talked about today: unsweetened cashew milk, unsweetened rice milk, or unsweetened flax milk. Use a moderate amount. Do not overdo it, and pay attention to how your body responds. For breakfast, keep it simple: a glass of milk that is more suitable for your kidneys, along with a light meal that is lower in salt and lower in sugar. Do not turn breakfast into a feast of pastries, sausage, bacon, or packaged foods. Those foods may taste good, but they often contain a lot of sodium. And sodium is one of the things that can make blood pressure, swelling, and kidney strain harder to control. At lunch, take a look at your plate. If half of your plate is filled with vegetables that fit your diet, one small part is a simple starch, and one moderate portion is protein based on your doctor's guidance, then you are already moving in a better direction than eating without thinking. At dinner, try to keep it a little lighter. Do not make your kidneys work a heavy night shift. Limit very salty foods, thick sauces, processed foods, and meals that make you feel thirsty all night. If you feel heavy after dinner, if you become very thirsty, if you notice more swelling, or if your blood pressure rises, your body may be trying to tell you something. And during this week, do one more small thing. Write down how you feel. Did your feet swell today? Did you feel more tired? Did you urinate more at night? Was your blood pressure steady? Did your blood sugar change? You do not need to write a lot. Just a few lines a day is enough, because caring for your kidneys is not about guessing. It is about observing, adjusting, and working with your doctor. I also want to say this very clearly. What I share in this video is not a replacement for professional medical advice. If you have kidney disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, if you take medication, if you are on dialysis, Or if your doctor has told you that your creatinine, estimated glomerular filtration rate, potassium, or phosphorus needs to be monitored, please talk to your doctor or a renal dietitian before changing your diet. Everybody is different. One type of milk may be suitable for one person, but not for another. One food may be safe at one stage of kidney disease, but may need to be limited at another stage. So, the wise thing is not to follow everything blindly. The wise thing is to understand your body better, ask better questions, and get professional guidance when you need it. But wherever you are on your health journey, remember this: getting older does not mean you have to become weaker. Your body has been with you for decades. It has carried you through work, family, illness, stress, loss, and many difficult days. Now, what it needs is not fear. What it needs is kinder, more thoughtful care. One more suitable glass of milk, one meal with less salt, one label read more carefully, one medical appointment not missed, one small decision that is kinder to your kidneys. That is all. But if you do it consistently, one day at a time, it can make a real and lasting difference.